Currently, the BMW M3 is widely considered one of the greatest driver's cars ever made, but behind that reputation lies an interesting story of how BMW's motorsport desires accidentally created one of the most beloved performance cars in history. Now, the story of the M3 never started with BMW trying to create the perfect driver's car. In fact, they never planned on creating a sports car to begin with. It all started when BMW wanted to compete with Mercedes in motorsport, and in particular touring car racing. However, for BMW to compete, their race car first needed to meet the homologation rules, meaning they must build thousands of road-legal versions. And thus, in 1986, the BMW E30 Generation M3 was born. It debuted with a 2.3-litre inline four-cylinder engine, producing 195 horsepower. And since the E30 was a homologation model for the German Touring Car Championship, it came standard with upgraded suspension, aerodynamic bodywork, and flared wheel arches to allow wider and stickier tires to be put on the car. At this moment, BMW's initial goal of creating the M3 for racing regulation was met. But surprisingly, the M3 not only did well in the motorsport world, but it had also greatly surpassed commercial expectations. Originally, BMW had only intended to build 5,000 units for the road, but due to high demand, they had vastly surpassed this, selling a total of 17,970 worldwide. This gave BMW the formula that would define the M3 for decades to come. Now, by the early 90s, the E30 M3 had earned its title as an amazing track car. However, BMW realized that if they wanted to keep up the success, they must build a car that kept their racing pedigree, but incorporated more refinement, comfort, and daily usability, creating a great balance between a fun car on the road and on track. So, in 1992, BMW released the E36 M3, this time having a 3-litre inline-6 engine producing 286 horsepower. This M3 introduced a 5-speed and 6-speed manual gearboxes, limited slip differential, ventilated brakes, as well as major comfort improvements like an electronic climate zone, upgraded bolstered seats, and a driver-centric dash. BMW had come out with an overall package that was hard to beat, and the sales report showed this, selling a total of 71,242 units worldwide, further building the M3's reputation as the best driver's car for the road. Now, just because the main focus of the E36 was comfort and refinement doesn't mean that BMW forgot its motorsport's ingenuity, as when the E46 was released in the year 2000, it brought with it a reputation as possibly the best driver's car ever made. This was thanks to its perfect balance of performance and drivability. In this generation, BMW came out with the 3.2-litre S54 inline-6 engine, which revved to 8,000 revolutions per minute and produced 343 horsepower. However, what really took this generation to another level was the release of the CSL package. The Competition Sport Lightweight Package, or CSL for short, changed the M3's characteristics entirely, adding a carbon fiber airbox with upgraded DME tuning for more horsepower, an upgraded transmission and steering rack for great precision, and most importantly, it reduced the total weight by 110 kilograms from changing certain parts, such as the roof, to carbon fiber, and striping non-essential interior parts, such as the rear seats. Overall, the E46 M3 had become BMW's best car yet and would set the all-time record as the highest-selling M3 of all time, with a total of approximately 85,139 units sold. Now, after the substantial success of the E46 Generation M3, BMW had the confidence to take a calculated risk with the E90 M3. BMW went from a straight 6 engine to a 4-litre V8. Despite being a bold departure from the previous generations and a first for the M3, this engine platform offered superb performance with one of the best-sounding exhaust notes of all time. Along with this, BMW added a lot of new technology to the car, such as electric damper control, to allow for different levels of ride comfort and stiffness depending on the driving mode. BMW also added M-Drive, which allowed for different driving characteristics, such as throttle response or steering input to adjust and save them to a button. This was also the first generation M3 to receive a dual-clutch transmission, allowing for faster gear changes while also offering a smoother ride. The combination of both the powerful and torquey V8, mixed with the technology and comfort this model offered, gave the E90 a unique character that became its defining feature. Overall, the M3 had shown the world that performance, technology, and comfort could be combined without sacrificing the raw character and driving experience that the M3 offers. Now, BMW had shown that they weren't afraid of experimenting with different engine configurations, but in 2014 with the F80 generation, they had decided to do something completely unexpected, which was to introduce a turbocharged engine for the first time ever in the M3 lineup. This initially angered purists and drew criticism. The previous generations of the M3 were renowned for their linear power delivery, as the revs climbed rather than a sudden surge of torque associated with turbocharged engines. However, it is important to point out that such a change was inevitable, as with ever stricter faster emissions. Turbochargers offered a greater ability to produce power from a smaller engine, and this was shown with the F80 as its 3-liter twin-turbo straight-six produced significantly more torque than the E90 while also offering more horsepower. The benefit of this setup was that the S55 had 2 small monoscroll turbos, which meant less rotational inertia, allowing the turbo to create boost much sooner than a big single turbo would. This allowed the F80 M3 to still maintain a good driving experience despite the engine changes. Along with this, the F80 received many mechanical and technological upgrades to help manage this power and torque. One of the most notable was the active M differential, which electronically controlled the distribution of torque between the rear wheels to improve traction and stability when accelerating. This generation M3 also received revised suspension and lightweight materials to ensure the new technology added didn't add much weight. Ultimately, while the F80 might have lost some of that raw, high-revving character from the past generations, it made up for it with its driving dynamics and character. And now we come to the current generation BMW M3, the G80. When this car was first released in 2020, it divided enthusiasts with both its looks and size. Initially, some people thought the styling and front grille was subpar, and it also didn't help that this new model weighed over 1,700 kilograms. However, this criticism soon faded as soon as people got to experience what the G80 was capable of. The new M3 was offered in rear-wheel drive, and for the first time ever, xDrive, which is BMW's all-new all-wheel drive system. Along with this, the M3 came with the S58 engine, a 3-liter inline-six making over 520 horsepower. Pairing both the all-wheel drive system with the S58 motor allows the new M3 to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 3.5 seconds and have a top speed of over 290 kilometers per hour. The M3 also was given a new 8-speed ZF transmission, carbon bucket seats, electronically controlled differential, track electronics, and a carbon roof. Now, despite the additional weight, thanks to the new suspension technology and chassis tuning, the G80 is still a very agile and track-capable car. Ultimately, the G80 showed that the M3 lineup could continue to evolve with modern technology while still offering a great balanced driving experience. And this is the core reason as to why the M3 is the best driver's car ever made, as BMW has always delivered a car built for the enthusiast. From the lightweight and raw experience delivered by the E30 and E36, to well-balanced track weapons from the E46 and E90, to the high-performance and technology-packed F80 and G80 generation, BMW have managed to evolve the M3 with every generation into something that always delivers an amazing driving experience and endless fun. And this is why ultimately the M3 deserves the title of the best driver's car ever made.